Okay, guys. I hope that now it's working decent. I hope so. Okay, so let's go to this. I said on Twitter that I'd like to build this application open, and I already have some code here. So today, just to give you a little of context, we are going to build Uzual application, which is an application for tracking your habits and your moods. And so let me open this Notion here. So I created this Notion. I'll share the link with you afterwards. But more or less, I'm trying to get the stack here. So for example, this is how it's looking now, and we have to add a couple of other screens, but that will be a different story. But for now, the stack will be on the server side is Prisma, Nexus, and TypeScript as the GraphQL layer. Docker for building the containers, Vultr for the server hosting, NGINX and Let's Encrypt for dealing with DNS and HTTPS or SSL, and Namecheap for the domain name itself. I already have set up a couple of domains here. So Uzual.App is pointing to a folder, and I'm serving the HTML only, but there's also an API.usual.app, which is the playground for the production version. On the local host, I'm using Docker again, but for the current live stream, I'll be using the production version, which is still in progress. So I'll eventually clean up the whole database afterwards, after the V1 is finished. And on the mobile side, I'll be using React Native Expo, more or less, Apollo Stack, styled components, and React Navigation for navigating, and bunch of other, but those are the most used ones. For the web, I think that I'll be using expo-web, but for now my main focus it's on iOS and Android. And what capabilities? It's offline first, it syncs cross-platform, it has authentication, push notifications, smart reminders. For example, when you will add a habit, and you can specify in which day you'd like to occur, and before that will happen, I'm gonna schedule a reminder for you, so you can enter in the application, and you can easily say that, hey, I've done this thing today or not. And also a smart reminder for adding your mood at the end of the day. And also in-app purchases and social sharing. Social sharing is for sharing your mood, like this screen, for example, which is you'll get it at the end of the month or maybe week. It really depends. We have to think about it. But there will be a button to share this image on social media. And of course the links here. So for now, I already worked on the code base, but let me just show you the how it's structured and from where we are going to begin. So first we have the app.js, where I'm initializing the Apollo client. I'm passing some a theme here, plus I'm providing the navigation. So the first thing is the setup for Apollo client. I'm using let's say three things for creating the offline first capability. The first one is the cache persist plus in memory. So those two guys, and retry link. So more or less this is saying that if it's going to fail, do not change my cache, but keep trying, retrying, and see if you can hit the endpoint. Here, for example, I'm setting also the WebSockets. I'm also passing the header, the authorization, the bearer token, and I'm also creating an auth middleware where I'm saying I'm passing the context, also the header, and here I'm getting the user access token, which is this one is the key from the async storage, and pass it to the server, to the header. Here is where I'm initializing the retry link, and I'm saying the delay between retries to be 500 milliseconds and infinity as a max attempts. This is actually super it's tricky though, because the delay will increment cardinally. So if you have, for example, on the first retry is going to be 500 milliseconds, on the second attempt is going to be 500 milliseconds, plus the delay, the previous delay, so plus 500 milliseconds again, and so on and so forth. So it's going to be, so this is, I think, like this. So to multiply it with 500 plus the previous one, and this one is going to be plus this one, and so on and so forth. And again, here I'm applying the auth middleware to the HTTP and to the WebSocket. And when I'm creating the link, I'm adding the retry link as well here. So the final link will also have the retry link in it. And I'm setting some default options here. So for watch query and query is going to be cache and network, and I don't care about the error policies. And for storing to work offline and store somewhere, I'm using in-memory cache from Apollo cache in memory, along with persist. And whenever you're doing a mutation or a query happened, I'm caching the results in using async storage in memory, let's say, and before returning the client to the Apollo provider, I am also waiting for the cache to be taken from the storage, if that exists or not. And let me just start this thing here, and you'll see that if there is nothing to be served from the cache, is going to say there's nothing in the cache. But after I'll be authenticated, and this was something was retrieved from the server, I'll be serving directly from the cache without me going to ask the server, hey, give me the data. The other thing here, I'm setting the theme. The theme here has the colors, the spacing, some other attributes, and for the navigation, I'll be showing you how I'm doing the navigation for authentication in just a second. Let me open up this thing here, the application. So there are the structure itself is the following. So I have the navigation where I'm initializing routes. I also have the screens here on the left hand side, where I'll have a folder for each particular screen. So in my case, it will be home, login, mood, habits, etc., and settings, just for the sake. And the funny thing is that under each screen, I am going to have a container, a component, and also the GraphQL tag here. So for example, under my home, I'm only doing a query, and I'm defining here the query, and inside the container I'm using higher order components, and I'm saying those are the queries, and I'll be using a polling interval, and the fetch policy is going to be cache and network. I'd like to be notified when the network status has changed, and I'm also passing with Apollo and with theme from style components, and I'm wrapping the home component, which can be found here. So in home, I'm already taking, I'm getting the data from the props, so props data and habits. But before rendering them, I'm saying if the data is saying that is loading and there is no habits in the cache, just show the loading screen. Otherwise, render the data. This is the, let's say, the magic, because this flag is always true. When you're polling, is going to be true always, but you don't care about only this flag, but you also, if you're working as an offline first application, you also care about the data that you already have in the cache, because if you have some data in the cache, you want to show it straight away and then wait for new data to come. And let's wait for this to finish. And then, so I also created a components folder here, where the most important part is in the styled.js, and here I'm creating lots of components based on styled components. And I'm also using a nice package here called styled map, and this is what this is doing is saying, for example, let's take this body here. You can wrap property from the theme saying size or color, which is specified here. So for example, in the colors, you have white, BG, primary, default, placeholder, and so on. And when you're writing a component like this, saying, I like to render a body, which is a text, but I'd like to have, I'm a body component, and you like to have the font size, let's say font size is going to be X large. You can pass directly X large, which this after Babel is going to be true. So if you're passing directly X large, is going to be a true property. And if you'd like to make it color primary, you just specify primary, and so on and so forth. So this is super useful, because otherwise you'll end up having lots of OR statements. And again, for example, I want to show you here. I also have a heading, which is this guy here. But I want to have all the properties that the body have, but I want to specify a different font family, in our case Menlo. I'm just wrapping the style, more or less is like extending the existing styled component, but passing different properties. And I'm also using a keyboard avoiding view, which is a component from React Native, which is not exposed in style components, but I can wrap that component using my previous styled components. So this is how it's looking, and if I'm going to open the console here, you'll say there is no stored cache to be restored. So let me log in, and I have the loading indicator here. Not sure if the Docker is working. Just give me 1 sec, please. Let me open the terminal here, and Docker logs. Okay, so and docker-compose.yml. Okay, I think that this is going to take a while, so I can go to setup, and where I'm saying is dev, let's use the real API, the production one, which is up and running. So when I'll log in, you'll see I have the habits, and now if I'm going to the mood, it's going to load, add them here, so for the settings as well. But now if I'm reloading, this is going to say that there is something in the cache and I'm going to serve it to you. So you see there is no loading, let's say, indication for because I have some data in the cache. So now that you have some, I don't know, you are familiar with this, let's go to, for example, in the theme, if I'm going to use a different background color, let's say 222. This is also going to, it's like a, I'm also going to add a dark theme to this application. So everything it's going to work smooth, so I don't have to carry on about for example, I'm also going to apply a different color to the text itself to match the black theme here, so which is a nice feature. Now let's go to our Uzual mobile here, and I also prepared a couple of to-do items, and I want to start with the registration form. So registration form, let me create an issue, and it's actually, let's go directly here, and let's start working on the registration form. Let me log out here. Oh, and the nice feature is that, like how I'm clearing the cache, is the logout is happening in settings. So it's here. I'm clearing the async storage, but I'm also clearing the client cache. I'm resetting it, and then I'm navigating to the auth, and in the app navigation, the auth is going to be the auth stack, and is going to be login. So and by the way, how I'm doing things here is super simple. I have a switch component, switch navigation, and I'm waiting for the async storage to be here, and if I have a user access token, the user will be redirected to the app, which is the main route. Otherwise I'll keep him in the login screen. So let me go to registration screen. Let's create a new branch here. Cool. So in order to create a new screen, I'll be using the login. I'll be cloning the login screen here, and I'm saying register and also register. And for the mutation, I'll be using, let me also do register, and I can't remember by heart, but let's see if I already have this open, so it's 4,000. So my Docker started, and I think that it's mutation register, let's say, and I'm calling sign up a name, which is a name, which is the name. So register is going to be actually, let's go directly here and change it here. Or the name is going to be a string, but actually the name is going to be a string, which is not mandatory. We also have an email, which is a string and mandatory, and password, which is a string and it's mandatory. And here I have the name, I have the email, which is email, and I also have the password, which is a password. And in return, I'm going to get a token. So I'm prettifying it, I'm copying it, and here. So this is going to be register. I'm also going to change this guy here, but so the container will get the register, and it's going to be register. And inside this one, let's also get to the login. The login is going to be is going to have, where is the auth? So here I'm also going to have a register screen. So I'm also going to copy this guy, and in the login screen, let's create a button. Weird. So okay, I don't have the latest master. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. And dash pop. The app navigator. Model screens. Okay. Let me also grab this one. Accept incoming changes. Actually, accept current changes, because I have changed the components here, and accept the current changes. So there is no other conflict. And in the login screen, in the register, there is no full loading, of course. So login, let me just copy again here, register. Okay, so it should work fine. So in App Navigator, I just defined in the off stack another route here, which is going to point to this one, and here we will have an email, password, and maybe a name. So name, auto capitalize, leave it as it is, and name, and I just want to leave it as it is. Okay, so we need to add the name here. So it's Miran, which is the default state. I will just remove those, but for the sake of not typing. Okay. So I think that I have to go here and do clearing cache. Oh, sorry, man. Just I thought that this restream is capable of the chat thing, but it seems that it's not. So let me just. Okay. Sorry about that. So, hey, Rodrigo. Command plus pp. Let's see. Command pp. Oh, okay, got you. Thanks for the tip, man. I'm usually using command, option, and the arrows to move left and right in the through tabs here. Hey, Amon. And thanks, Rodrigo. So it's nice, super nice trick. Thanks. And let me also grab the. Okay, so let's see if this had finished or not. Let's refresh again. Yeah, my computer is super slow. Maybe I'll just stop the Docker here because it's taking a lot of resources. And I'm also going to see if I'm still getting here. And I'll be using the okay, so it seems that I don't have any Docker anymore. And I'll be using the production version because it's the same. So, but I'll just avoid taking the resources of my laptop. Cool. Let's wait for this to finish. And in the register screen, we would like to have the following. So let's say the email and the password are here, and so we would like to hit register with the email, password, and name, which is either, so name is from the state, and we want to say register and register here. If data, there is no data.login. Okay, I'm just gonna go here and say is directly register.token, and then I'll be in the app. Cool. So if I'm hitting save here, man, this computer is insanely slow. I'm good on one. I'm just fighting with my laptop here. It's just struggling with OBS Studio and JavaScript bundle running on the background is like super slow. Hey Verdi. I actually wanted to start this from the beginning because it's now it's super hard to just follow up with everything that I did up to this point. But either way, there are many things to come. So this is just, I don't know, the tiny piece. But what is happening here? Let me see if I can close a couple of other resources. So tick, 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 tick. So it seems that, oh, okay, cool. This guy, I had to change the polling interval to a big number because this one is going to poll and is going to take a couple of resources, and I'm also going to close it here. Okay, so go to home. Let's see. Okay, so there is nothing to serve, and I'll be logging in. So it's working now, and I'm gonna log out, and in the login screen I'll be using a button here saying go to register, and I'm gonna make it, let's say again, to the theme. I'll add, I think that it's good, but I don't like the color here, so if I'm going to theme again, I would like to make it as the placeholder. So placeholder color, the body is going to be the default one, is going to be centered and without margins. So and I'm going to say register, and go to register is not defined, of course. And I'm also going to say go to register. It's going to be this props. This props navigate to register. I think that also the design sucks hard here, but so register is going to work. And on the register part, I would like to have a back button. So instead of login, say register, and here I would like to say, which is a placeholder. Actually, let me also create none, no bg, which is going to be transparent, and in login, and go to login. Actually, on the login screen, this should be shadow color, and on the register screen, this is going to be props navigate. Actually, go back. I think it's yeah, so I'm building everything from scratch. I'm not used to use any UI library I'm on, so I'm building everything using styled components now, because I can customize everything, and I don't know, I just like to play around with it. So React navigation, go back. So it's go back, okay. And it's actually not navigate, it's directly go back. Cool. Yeah, it's pretty decent. So I'll show again. So here in styled components, I'm not sure if you were following. So here in style components, I'm declaring all the components. So you were seeing me adding, for example, the button here, which is used here. Okay, so this button component is from the styled components, and for example, I'm using primary and huge, and for this thing is going to use the theme colors as the background color, and this is transpiled to true. So if I'm setting this property to true, this theme will look up into the this is, let me just write it. So it's background color will be from props, from theme colors, and I'm going to say if props.primary, then take it from primary. Actually it's end, or if you pass a different thing here, take that one, and so on and so forth. So this this library from which I'm importing the styled map is going to say if I have a property which exists under colors and it's passed as a prop to this body or to the button, in our case the background color, is going to map in our case the primary flag to the colors primary, which is turquoise in our example, and so on and so forth. So it's like super easy to create a theme. And for example, the height is going to be taken from the button theme. So in theme there is a button constant here, which is an object, and if you're, by the way, if you're not passing medium or big to the button component, is going to fall back to default key, and you'll have default, it's almost everywhere. So if you're using style components theme, yeah, you got the point here. So going back to what I've done, okay, so going back to the register, I'll just to the register. I forgot to add, there is no login, and I want to make it as a placeholder. Yeah, there are, yeah, that's why I wanted to start from scratch, but yeah, eventually was super fun working with style components in general. I mean, this is my way to go in general while building React Native applications, and not only React Native but also for the web. I really love style components and sorry, how you can create your own theme, and yeah, maybe if I have enough time with this to finish the register, I'll create actually the toggle for the black theme, so the dark theme, which will be super nice. So cool. So register login, this is working. Actually let me, it's okay for now, but why this is a placeholder, leave it as it is, and on here I'll say no bg, and everything is centered. And I can also add an or which is shadow in between, and this is going to look something like so this is why is this here? Usually I'll say instead of no margin, oh, the button has, if I'm going to button, it has a margin top spacing. So in theme have no margin, so I have to add to this also no margin. And okay, so now this is aligned, but I also wanted to add, so body, okay, so, and the button, it's weird though. So this is going to have, so it's, let's add a block here. So wrap this into a block. And I also need to import the block. So block is going to have a margin bottom. So I'll create a spacer, which is a block, and I'll also pass margin top to theme spacing. So in the login, instead of adding a block, let's add a spacer. So no margin here. They should be spaced, okay. And actually I wanna have a different spacing. I'd like to be a huge spacing or a big one, so it's big spacing. And in the register part, the same thing. So here spacer, and render in between those two guys. I want to add the same thing. Okay, so now if you go to register and also login, and here will be register. So register, you'll have the name. Actually, let's see here. This is going to throw an error. So the register. I'm on the register screen. Okay, so this, what? Okay, so this one has to have no margin. Okay, so on the register screen, this should throw an error because on the backend side, I'm saying that if there's an existing email, it's like a unique thing. So if I'm hitting, I had to, okay. So email should be different, and also I should get an error if there is no password. Okay, so password, let's create a test one. Test register. I think that this is registered. And I need to have access to the server, but either way, so let's console log data.register here. And in the registration, in the container here, in the, let's see if this worked, because test, I think it does. Okay. Oh, this is wrong. So test. Okay. And I hit register. Register. So this is loading. Wow. In container. So this is working, because otherwise there will be no mutation. But let's, you know what? Let's do the reverse way. So debug. And see. Yeah, I'm not actually using Chrome, as you can see, so I got a lot of notifications here. Either way, so if I'm going to register screen, so am I? Oh, okay. Okay. It might be the issue, but either way, so I think that I'm getting sign up data instead of register. I think that this is going to work now. So, but if I'm going to register.js and go to data, so here, what? Can I add a breakpoint? Nice. So this is useless. I want to add here breakpoint and hit __. I'm going to the data. Boom. So it seems that there was no, I remapped basically the because this mutation I have to change on the backend side, because the mutation name is correct. I'm getting it as probe because I'm setting it here as the name of the property, the key, but the response was containing data and then sign up instead of data and register. So yeah, it's a small thing. Fun to debug. Okay, so I can close this guy here. Okay, the mood, yeah, this is like the default, but it's funny though. Okay, stop debugging. Let me also close this guy here. But now go to logout and register and login again. And let's also commit some code here. Let me just undo. So yes, I want to create a spacer. Create component. Oh, okay. Bum bum bum. Git. First, I had to master. I think doing something super wrong here. Okay. So now add no background color and Yes, yes, yes. Reference. Navigate to register screen from login screen. Add screens, register. Create register screen. And this one, no. And okay, I'll be using Hub for creating. I hope that I have it installed. Yep, I have it. So here, actually, let's also create the new screenshots here. So let me go to desktop and take those two guys. And the first one is, so this one is register, and this one is login. And also go to readme. Let me close the terminal here. So I have the login as the first one. And the second one is the register. Let me grab this one here. Okay, and preview. Login, register, which is nice. So yes. I have the prettier stuff, so add new screenshots for login and register screen. Cool. And now we have those guys. Okay, so now let's do something super fast, and afterwards I'll just finish the streaming here. Let's create the dark theme super fast, and we will need the following. Let me close this. So I would like to change it from the settings, and I'd like to import switch, I think it's called, from React Native, and logout, or even better, so row. I'll have a body saying dark theme, and then I'd like to have the switch here. This one is going to take what? Let me go to React Native switch. So This one will have on value change. We will do on this on value change, and we also have tint color, which is so also make sure that I'm wrapping it with theme. Yes, I have it. So I'm taking the primary color from the theme, and I think that's it. It should work somehow. So if I'm logging, I'm going to settings. It's saying cannot find variable row. And also prepare. I know for sure we have in React navigation theming, just to copy paste stuff from there. So there is this guy. Okay, so let me also okay, so is this working? It's not. Picky boom. Anyhow, so in the app, here let me also create the theme context. In here I'm also going to have a state and a toggle theme. So the state and toggle theme is going to set state, and after that, actually, yes. And here, when I'm resetting the state, this is going to be called here, and here it's okay. Toggle theme, okay. And I'm also going to pass this. So this one and this one here. Okay, let me save it, and I'm gonna consume this one in the settings. In the settings, I'm gonna consume this one, which is going to say this is going to say toggle, and also the theme, I think, right, is the theme. Okay, so it's the theme, and this one, then I just close it, right? React Native switch. So value. Value. What is the value? Value is Boolean. So if the theme is dark, it's going to be true. Okay, I think. Oh man, come on. Just one sec, please. Okay. So let me also prepare the. So in case when the theme is going to be dark, I would like to create a different theme, and the theme, but actually the colors is going to be theme by state theme dot colors. Actually this is so if I'm going to theme, I'll have the colors here, colors dark. I would like to change only the background. White is white, the default. And this is going to be colors, and then I will overwrite the background. So the background is going to be 222, the text will be d3, 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 and also this one 222. Which is nice. So this one I would I think that I can export a function. Yes, so I'll export a function here which will accept the theme, which by default is light, and colors. If the theme is light, I'll add colors, otherwise I'll add colors dark. Sorry about that. Colors theme, which is good. So now export default is directly a function, right? And in the app here, there is no need for me to should work. Yep, And here it's complaining cannot find theme context. So in settings, in the app, what have I done here? Yes, of course, because I have to export constant. This is one. Yeah, I could also create this guy in a different place. So, but either way. Now this one should work. Tint color is deprecated. Use. Oh, but I want a different color, not that one. So I wanna add the iOS, the thumb color. No. So okay, this is not working, so let me just, otherwise it's false. So toggle theme, the theme, the toggle theme. Okay. Okay. So theme it's light. What am I doing here? So wrong. On value change. Yes. Thanks, man. You're the man. Yeah, it's like 12 in the night, so I think yeah, cool. So boom, everything, it's almost everything, this guy here, but yeah, we have a dark theme. Super nice. And I think that I will also change the, where we have the boom, 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 boom. I think the shadow could be different, right? So if I'm doing shadow, let's also do some RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0. Actually, it's 0.4. And let me also change this to, it doesn't matter. So if I'm going here, boom, now it's somehow it's better, right? Okay, and I should also add in the settings, this guy, it's actually a spacer and spacer, and also in the app here when component did mount. Why is this only for iOS? I'm not sure. Yeah, it's I'm doing my best, man. It's like but I also noticed this one here. So for example, as you can see, there is a different background, but now I'm applying the same background. So if I'm going to the theme, this is white, but the background color is slightly different, right? So the tab bar will be 333. I think that will do the trick. Thanks, man. Thanks. I'm just trying to spell your name. Oluwakorede. Oluwakorede. I hope I haven't. Cool. So yeah, now this is I think better. I'm not sure if never mind. So back to our thing. I think this one could be 25. And whenever we are changing, change status bar style, we are going to do status bar set bar style to if the theme is light, then we wanna do, what is the theme here? It's dark content, I think, otherwise will be light. I don't know, it's just a default. Okay, and here I'm just calling change status bar. It's okay. And we should also see this changed. So it's again status bar style. So it's light content or dark content. So, oh, okay. Fuck. I'm super sleepy now. So it's light content, but when we are changing this guy here, we are also going to change the status bar. So change status bar is not a function. Of course, it's not a function. Binding. Change. Oh, I'm of course. Okay, so now if I'm going to the settings, change, boom. So this is white now, which is awesome. Yeah, it's looking decent, I think. We can also change those two things here. But yeah, other than that, I think, guys, this is, let's also see the logout. Nice. I think it's Let's also save some screenshots. So going to register, going back to login myself. Yeah, I have to change the loading because the loading should be now RGBA 0.9, right? Now, of course, I lost the thing here, but it's going to be dark. Everything will be dark now. So if I'm going to mood, I will see the loading, which is looking great. Logging. Cool. So save the screenshot to the mood. And let's also apply a different setting here. Actually, it's okay. But now go to projects. I think that I also have a to-do here. No, but I'll create one. How to name it? Create dark theme plus toggle. And of course, this has to go. We also need to change. So when you're changing this guy here, so make this toggle. Yeah, it doesn't matter for now. I wanted to say that we can also store this into the async storage, but there is no need. So on the README, let's add light theme and the dark theme, and let me first just save this and see what we have here. Okay, so let me merge this pull request here. Don't have any. Okay. Merge the pull request, confirm merging. Let me also delete the branch. And on the project side, let me move this guy here and convert it into an issue, and implement dark theme. So I'll have, yes, Yes. 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 No. No. Actually, the theming export function for theming. So here, no, no, yes, yes, yes. Use theme context. React context for switching styled to force to light or dark theme from settings screen. And now let's go create the pull request here. Oh, of course, because the branch didn't exist. So if I'm going to do this, it's going to be a pull request, and here I would like to add the theming. The first one is login, register, habits, modes, and settings. So there are register, habits, modes, and settings. Cool. So let me go here, and the dark theme, this is going to and here I'll be pasting the guys. Okay, save it and preview. Cool. So there is super nice, guys, super nice. So in the readme, add new screenshot, add screenshots, both light and dark theme. So now let's also see it here. Like this. Great. let me merge this one and actually in the setup oh, this is keeping everything because yeah, the default one is the dark now, so that's why. Great. So I hope that tomorrow I'll be able to stream it. There are a couple of things which I'd like to start working on. I'm in between choosing from creating the habit flow. So yeah, let me know, man. Just ping me on Twitter. This is my Twitter handler. Just ping me here if you need any Git help. Yeah, I'll be more than happy to help you out. So I think that I'll continue with the habit flow, and through habit flow I'm saying there will be a plus here, or I don't know, somewhere here. When we are going to press on it, we will have a different screen here with the title of the habit, description of the habit, and if it's starred or not. So in my case, all of them are starred now, but the API, so the GraphQL playground here, let me just log in for a sec. And password is password. So I have the token now. And boom, 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 boom. So let me also remove the modes because I don't need them, and I don't need the habits here. And is this start? So everything is start, but I also have a couple of GraphQL queries here. I think that I need to create a habit. Okay, so if I'm going here, info, and here I'll do a mutation, create habit. I'll do a create habit, and definitely I'll need the title. Then what I would like to do, ride 10 kilometers, and I can also do bike here, bike. I don't know why it's not working, but ride bike 10 kilometers per day, and the description is going to be let's perform better uphill. And start, it doesn't matter because it's going to be false and I need the ID of it. And now if I'm doing this thing, I'll say it's done. Now it's done, it's done, it's done, it's done, it's not done, it's not done, it's done, it's done, it's not done. I eventually should be able to see it here. Oh, but there is a... Wow, I forgot to... Okay. I think that I know why those are repeated, because there was a bug on the backend side which was fixed but not deployed. But I'll work on the backend side later on. So first, let me see why this is not working. Okay, opening simulator. I'll just go to Uzual. This is still in private mode, but I will definitely release it. But yeah. Oh, got you. So I haven't changed it. There was a pull request, I think, which I've done, or not. Not really. There was a branch, and in the resolvers, in the user. Yes, this is the problem. Not this, actually, in the query. Yes. So this one is not merged on the Vultr. But you know what? Let's make it happen now. Vultr. Login. So I'm going to home. But at least, yes, so you'll see here the ride bike stuff, and this should also work in real time. So if I'm adding another one here, which is true, it's still working on it. Okay, so we should be able to see this here without refreshing it. Okay, so it appears. So if I'm going to home, diggy, so it's usual backend. So here I'm running multiple things. Man, this is so slow. Because of this guy here, right? Yes. So the cool. So there is this GraphQL server. So if I'm so I'm going to check out master. I think that I had this bash. Yes, so I have bash rc. Man, this is insanely slow. Man, it's taking a while. Just let me new key. Okay, and now if I'm on what branch I am now. I should be able to do man, just do it. Let me insanely slow, of course. Yeah, I also have to docker-compose.yml. This is going to crash definitely. Let me go and hack it for a little in home. There is a logout thing. I also have to implement JWT token refresh here because I'm not refreshing the tokens. So after restarting the server, even though the previous token, no, if you read the description on YouTube, the stack, I will just share here the stack. The stack it's on Vultr. Everything it's on Vultr. I'm not using DigitalOcean. I'm using Vultr. It's the same thing, but I think, yeah, it's the same as DigitalOcean. But I think that the servers are way faster than are on DigitalOcean. And I'm paying $5 per month for 1 gigabyte of RAM and 1 CPU, which is decent, let's say. So this is completely dead. And this is not because this is because of my network and my incredible let me go again outside. course. I'm also using NGINX proxy manager, which is the following. So if I'm copying the this is used, so on this server I'm hosting multiple things. I'm hosting the Uzual.App domain, this domain, also API.usual, and for example this one is the NGINX proxy manager, which give me the capability of also running Let's Encrypt dynamically, and everything is going to work out of the box. The only thing which I'm dealing is mapping each IP plus port to a specific Docker container IP, or Docker to a specific Docker container. So on API.usual.app, I'm serving the this guy here. So if I'm going to docker-compose, I'm serving, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 containers. This one is the NGINX proxy with the DB, and here is the Prisma, and this is the GraphQL server which I'm building. And for example, this one will expose on the container server and port 4000. This one will export Prisma and port 4466, and so on and so forth. So the only thing which I'm dealing is mapping those things. So but this should work actually. Okay, and not sure if this is saying undefined is not okay. In on the home page, .habits. So here, no, don't worry about that. I don't have any users out there, so I'm okay. This is just for the dev purposes. Everything will live under a .env variable, but for now it doesn't matter. The secrets, actually the secrets are not that secret. So for example, this one is useless still for demo purposes, and this one again, there is nothing to be stolen from the backend. Let me show you. So this is the proxy server, okay, and I have 2 hosts. One is pointing to API, which is internally resolved by this Docker IP DNS, and then I'm also pointing to Uzual.App, which is the main domain, which is this guy, which also is powered by Let's Encrypt. And this one is serving an HTTPS server, which is based on Uzual landing here. So this guy is served on this IP. So if I'm going directly to this IP, you'll see the same landing page. Cool. So now if I'm going to API Uzual and try to log in myself, oh, there is no create habit anymore. Nice. Yeah, super nice. I'll dig deeper into what you can actually do. So login, and also how to connect Namecheap, for example, DNSs or your domains with this, and how you can resolve the DNS and how you can redirect and how you can add HTTPS support and so on. So I'll get, actually this one I don't need it, so the token, my info. Okay, so now everything should work properly, I think. I'm going to home, I'm going to log out, and log in again. This is not working. Wow, something went wrong. Setup. Is reachable. It is. It's redirecting me. Oh, because I forgot to remove. So now I'll log in and I will not see the home habits. Do I have it's working? I have changed some things here and yep, this is not working anymore. Okay. So yeah, I'm still working on the backend as well, so cool. So now I'm not going to see, the problem was that I was able to see habits from other users. So now everything is filtered on my name. So if I'll, so GraphQL for moods, I think the same applied to this guy here. It's not going to work anymore. So there are no, oh, it's mood. Oh, this is wrong. Okay, because yeah, never mind. So I'll just this should work, but yeah, weird. So this is moods as mood. And I got everything here. And again, if I'm going to settings, oh, there is a downtime. So there is a downtime, but I can also move to Kubernetes, but there is no point. But something is definitely wrong with this server. But I think that I know what is going on. So Uzual backend. So there is this so I've done something super wrong on the server side. Let me check the query here. So there should be no mood, but I don't know why there is a mood. Super weird. But yeah, guys, I have to go. Definitely, this is fixable, let's say. But it's almost 1 a.m. in the morning. I hope to see you tomorrow. But yeah, just feel free, I don't know, follow me on Twitter or to be updated whenever I'm starting a new streaming. And also feel free to subscribe to my channel. See ya.